Hello guys, welcome back to my channel Siddu's Digital Classes CBSE Class 10. Today we are going to deal with a first lesson of first flight of Class 10 CBSE Letter to God. Letter to God. It was written by him, Jill Flinders. So let us start this first lecture. This story was about an innocent who strongly have faith in God and wrote a letter to God himself. The story was about an innocent person who strongly have faith in God. There are two types of persons in this world: theist and atheist. Theists are the people who deeply believe the God. Atheists are the people who don't even believe the God. Here, in this story, a person was a theist and he wrote a letter to God himself. How can a God take a letter from humans? Then every theist can send the letter to God. So let us see what happened. We were entered into the lecture. The house, the only one in the entire valley, sat on the crest of a low hill. From this height, one could see the river, and next to the corral, the field of a ripe corn. The field of a ripe corn dotted with kidney bean flowers that always promised a good harvest. The only thing the earth needed was a rainfall or at least a shower. There was a house in the entire valley. Valley is nothing but a place which was totally covered with mountains or hills and trees. Sat on the crest of a low hill. Crest means crest means top. Crest means here top. Crest means top. Low hill. We know that low mountain. Think that a low mountain. Low mountain. From this height, one could see the river, and next to the corral, the field of a ripe corn dotted with the kidney bean flowers. And from that height, from that house, the farmer here Lencho. Here the farmer is Lencho. The main character of this lesson is Lencho. Here the main person is Lencho. From there he could see a river. We can see the river is passing, and the field of ripe corns dotted with kidney bean flowers that always promise a good harvest. We know that corn was shaped in this shape, in the kidney shaped. In the kidney shape. Kidney was shaped. Here I cannot draw neatly because the mark was like that. So kidney shaped, and that field or that crop always promised a good harvest. The only thing the earth needed was rainfall or at least a shower. By reading these two sentences, we can state that that situation was somewhat critical. It means to get a good harvest for their ripe corn field, they need somewhat rain or the at least a shower. Rainfall or at least a shower means raindrops to grow their crop. Next, what happened? Let's see, guys. It was during the meal. Just as Lencho has predicted, big drops of rain began to fall. In the northeast, huge mountains of clouds could be seen approaching. The air was fresh and sweet. It was during the meal. While they were taking the meal, just as Lencho had predicted, as Lencho thought, big drops here, drips. Sorry, guys, the wrong spelling was printed. Big drops of rain began to fall. In the northeast, huge mountains of clouds could be seen approaching. From the northeast side, the clouds, huge mountains of many clouds were seen approaching. By seeing that, by knowing that state, we can say that rain is going to fall. It means the God was, because he is a theist, he believed the God deeply. As he wished the God to give a rain, the rain was coming. The air was fresh and sweet. When even in at our houses, when rain is going to fall, the air was fresh and sweet. What happened? Let's see, guys. The situation was turned into critical. Let's see that. It was really bad now, exclaimed the man, mortified. I hope it passes quickly. It did not pass quickly. For an hour, the hail rained on the house, the garden, the hillside, the cornfield, on the whole valley. The field was white as it is covered with salt. It was really getting bad now. The rain was falling at the starting. The rain was falling very slowly, but being the time was passing, the rain was turned into very critical situation. It has become. It means the rain was destroying the total crop, because before he told that the crop will always promise a good harvest, but now the crop cannot even promise a good harvest, or any harvest also, not a good harvest. I hope it passes quickly. Lencho said that he thought that this rain will these hailstorms, or this rain will be passes quickly. It did not pass quickly. For an hour, the hail rained on the house. Hail means hailstones. We know that hailstones. Hailstones rained on the house, on his house, and on the in the garden, the hillside where he was living. He was living a crust on the top of a low hill. The garden, the hillside, the cornfield. He has a cornfield on the whole valley. Whole his whole area was destroyed by the hailstones. This field was white as if it is covered with salt. The ices, hailstones means nothing but ice cubes. Ice cubes are falling from the sky. Just because of that, the total crop was fell down from the trees, and the crop was filled with white color like salt. We know that even in the north sides in American state USA's, when nothing but here hailstones, nothing but snow. Hailstone is nothing but snow. We know that snow is in white in color like salt. In that way it used to be. So what happened? Let's see, guys. Lencho is a man who devastated because of the hailstones, that hit his farm and ruined almost everything. The corn was totally destroyed. Lencho is a man who devastated. Lencho was a man because there were nobody. We know that in that surroundings, or in that valley, there were nobody. Only Lencho. So Lencho was only devastated because of hailstones on nothing but snow. Think it is a snow that hits his farm, and his farm was totally destroyed and ruled almost everything. The corn was totally destroyed. What was his crop? Ripe corn. Ripe corn. Crop was totally destroyed. The night was sorrowful. Sorrowful means bad. They were in a bad situation. All our work, nothing. There's no one who can help us. All our work, nothing. There was no one who can help us. Uh, they were they worked a lot for that crop. The crop was going to be cutted, but at last minute the hailstorms was devastated all the crop, and there was nobody to help them. Okay, now what happened? Let's see next, guys. That the situation was so sorrowful. That night was very sorrowful and bad. All their work was they worked a lot for their crop, but it was nothing for at last. There was no one to help them. Let's see, guys. Lencho was an ox of man, working like an animal in the fields, but still he knew how to write. How to write. Lencho, Lencho was an ox of man. Here, ox means we know that how oxes work in the fields. For crop, oxes used to work very hard in the fields, and he is also here. Lencho. Lencho is also an ox. Lencho is also an ox, but still he know how to write the letters or anything. Let us see, guys, what happened. There were nobody for him, no, guys, to help. Having faithful of God, he then wrote a letter to God. He has a good faith or deep faith in the God, so he was decided to write a letter to God. As though he was an ox, he works. He is a farmer. He knows how to write the letters. You can know that he was a letter 8, guys. And here let's recall what has been explained before. And at first of all, he only requested the god to at least his crop need his crop need rain, a rain or at least a shower. First of all, he thought that the rain was gold coins, because we know that if the rain comes, his crop will definitely promise a good harvest. A good harvest. A good harvest. Yeah, a good harvest. He compared big raindrops to be 10 cent pieces, small raindrops to be 5 cent pieces, guys. 5 cent pieces. It means big raindrops. This much of raindrops, 10, and a small he compared with 5. What happened? Let's see. He wrote a letter to God. Why he wrote a letter to God? Let's see. He wrote that in this way. God, he wrote, if you don't help me, my family and I will go hungry this year. I need 100 pesos in order to sow the field again, and to leave until the crop comes because the hailstone. He wrote, if you don't help me, if God don't help me, his family and he will definitely should be in the hunger, because the crop was totally destroyed. He can't get, or he can't earn any money, because there was no crop and nothing. So he need 100 pesos to order to sow and to sow the field again, to live until the crop comes. For next year, up to the next year, next crop comes, he need the 100 pesos to satisfy his hunger, because the hailstorm was devastated full of his crop. He wrote to God on envelope, put the letter inside, and still troubled went to town. At the post office, he placed a stamp on the letter and dropped it into the mailbox. The village postmaster opened it and reads. And he wrote. At last, he wrote to God. We also write, guys. We'll also while in our letter, in our exams, yours sincerely or yours obediently and our name. Like that, he wrote to God on the envelope, put the letter inside, and he went to the post office from his house, and he went to the town. At the post office, he placed a stamp and dropped it in the mailbox. All the letters from the mailbox will be collected by the postmaster, and the village postmaster open it and read it. What happened? Let's see now. The postmaster came up with an idea. Answer the letter. First of all, what happened here? They didn't give. Just this is a lecture. I'm not explaining deeply. I'm just explaining the what points we need for our exam or our board exams. Okay, guys. The first postman took that letter and he read that. And here we can say that we get a laughing situation. Actually, the person when a person drops a letter, it shouldn't open by anybody. It should reach the receiver. Up to then, it shouldn't be opened. But here, what happened? The postman opened it, and by laughingly he went near the postmaster and he gave that. By reading that, the postmaster came up to an idea. Answer the letter. He was decided to answer the letter. But when he opened it, it was evident that to answer it was needed something more than goodwill, ink and paper. The postmaster then decided to help in gathering everyone's money as an act of charity. And the postmaster was decided. The postmaster was decided. The postmaster was decided, guys, to answer that letter. By asking from a part of his salary, Lencho want 100 pesos. Pesos is nothing but a currency of them. We use the rupees or pies, all these we use, and he needs the sum of 100 pesos. So he collected from his part of his salary and from his friends and even from his employee money as an act of charity. What happened? Let's see, guys, further. It was impossible for him to gather together that 100 pesos requested by Lencho. So he was able to send the farmer only a little more than half. He put the bills in the envelope addressed to the Lencho, and with them a letter containing only a signature, God. It was impossible because even though he collected from his part of salary and from his friends and his employees, he collected only 70 pesos. He collected more than half. Half means we know that 50. He collected more than half, 70 pesos, and remaining he need to get 30 pesos. So he wa- so and he even bills the envelope and addressed to the Lencho, and at last he even signed as God. And how many rupees he sent it? Only 70 pesos. Only 70 pesos. He asked 100 pesos. Let's see what happened. What was the Lencho's reaction by seeing this money? The following Sunday, Lencho came a bit earlier than usual to ask if there was a letter for him. It was postman himself who handed the letter to him. And next following Sunday, Lencho came bit earlier. It means earlier he came early. He came to the post office, and he inquired whether a letter was came to him or not. The postman himself handed over the letter, which was came by the God. Here not exactly from the God, from postmaster, from the postmaster. What happened? Let's see by reading that letter and taking that money. Lencho showed not the slightest surprise on seeing the bills. Such was his confidence, but he became angry when he counted the money. God could not have made a mistake, nor could he have denied Lencho what had he requested. Lencho didn't show any surprise. Actually, if we get anything free, we show surprise like this. Wow, I got 100 pesos. I got 70 pesos. Like that, his reaction should be like that. But he didn't get any surprise. He just seeing like that. And slowly Lencho counted the money, and he became angry because he asked sum of 100 pesos, but he reached only the 70 pesos. We were remaining 30 pesos. He was not feeling, and he was not he want 100 pesos. He was not suppressed by getting that 70 pesos. He need remaining 30 pesos also. What he exactly thought was God could not have make a mistake, nor could he had denied Lencho what have he requested. He thought that God won't do any mistake. God definitely he had sent the 100 pesos, but in middle from God to me something has happened. Let's see what happened. Immediately, Lencho went up to the window to ask for paper and ink. He was furious and immediately replied the letter. Immediately, because he was with so angry because just he received 70 pesos. So he went near to the window and asked a paper and ink. He was very furious and angry. Immediately he replied the letter. What did he reply? Let's see. The letter fell into the mailbox. The postmaster went to open it. When that letter fell into the mailbox, the postmaster was watching through the window. Through the window, whether what he was doing, what was his reaction, everything the postmaster was watching. And he dropped that letter into the mailbox. And immediately after, when he left that post office, postmaster came and took that letter. It said, God, of the money that I asked for only 70 pesos reached me. Send me the rest since I need it very much. But don't send it through the mail because the post office employs a bunch of crooks. Lencho he signed at last. He said that God, you just send God. I asked for only 70 pesos reached me. He asked 100 pesos, but he reached only 70 pesos. Remaining 30 pesos needed to reach him. Send me the rest since I need it very much because definitely he need 100 pesos. We can know that his critical condition during that devastation caused by the hailstorms. But don't send it through the mailbox because the post office employees are bunch of crooks. Lencho he signed, and he even requested the God to do not send the remaining 30 pesos through the mail or through post office. because what exactly he thought was post office post office employees, post offices were robbed the 30 pesos, and just he received the 70 pesos. Actually what happened, here we can say that God is nothing but postmaster. The postmaster gave only 70 pesos. Anybody didn't remove the money from that letter. He thought that bunch of crooks means they were robbers. They robbed my 30 pesos. So please don't send my my mail through the mail, the remaining 70, the remaining 30 pesos. Send at any other thing, because God can help us anyway. Not only through the money, not only through the clothes, not only through the crop. Anyway, God can help. This is our lesson, guys. Now let us do the exercise based on the letter to God. Where was Lencho's house situated?